I do not own rights to that song. Don't want it. Don't need it. You can have it. I'm all good here. That aside, um, today is the 20th, and today was an interesting freaking day. I tell you. Not only did I see two people get shot and killed, but there's been a lot of police presence around because of the 20th. But so I was at work today, and this Trump supporter minding his own business gets shot point blank by this Biden supporter. And the Biden supporter got shot by the cops instantly. So, but moving on a serious note, um, that probably will never make it on the news. Nah. Anyways, so today I I needed some help, so I called on my mother. In return for the help, she wanted me to drop off my little brother and sister, my half brother and sister, to their father's house. And I'll give you a little quick summary. There's five of us in total. I'm the oldest. I'm 30. I'll be 31 in March. Then there's my little sister, who's I guess 29, maybe 30. I forgot. Um, and then the middle child, my little brother. He's 15. He'll be 16 come September, I think. And then there's my little sister, who's 11, and then my little brother, who will be 9 come October. So he considered himself 8.5. So I had to drop off my two youngest siblings, half siblings, to their house, to their dad's house today, in return for the favor of my mother. My mother had me at the age of 12, and my little sister, that's 28 or 29, at the age of 14. So at 12 to 30 or 31, and that's how old my mother is. On the way to dropping off my little brother and sister, well, actually, before that, um, before I dropped them off, I was at my grandmother's house because that's where they were, and I had to meet my mother there at my grandmother's house. So she's watching, the inauguration and all the other Biden related stuff, and out of nowhere, my little sister says, she asked me, "Are you a Trump supporter?" And I'm like, "Are you?" And she was like, "No, Trump's a racist." And my little brother chimes in and says the same thing. "No, Trump's a racist." And I'm like, how? Tell me, how? How is he a racist? This might be a long video, by the way. But anyways, I'm like, how is he a racist? And she's like, because he just is. And I'm like, okay, well, do you know the rapper Lil Wayne? And it was like, yeah. All right. And I'm like, okay. Do you know the rapper Kodak Black? And it was like, yeah. I'm like, all right. Did you know that Donald Trump is the one who gave them a pardon to get out of prison? And it was like, yeah, but he's still a racist. And I'm like, all right, well, that's funny because, there, for many, many years, um, black people have been, put in jail for, let's be honest, some were put in jail for dumb reasons, and even being completely innocent and being put in jail. Now you have to take a whole entire president to force them out of prison, where others would have to wait out their time or have a really, really good lawyer to pretty much get them out of prison early or not in prison at all. So, that being said, with that being said, so I noticed that, well, I've always known that little children are influential. They are. They copy what the adults do, and they look up to the nearest role model. Now, because of the age gap and life that's ahead of me, I'm not really there as much as I would like to be as an older brother. But even though they annoy the shit out of me, I do care about them deeply. And it's really what the children are surrounded by and how they grow up, which will ultimately turn on how they'll be. On the way to dropping them to their father's house, um, I asked my little sister, I'm like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I asked her this 3 times so far. The first time she was like, she wants to be a cop. That I love, you know. She was 7 years old when she said that. When she was 9, I asked her the same question. What do you want to be when you grow up? She says she wanted to be a lawyer because she wants to help the good people stay out of prison. That definitely touched home to me. And then I asked her again, literally about an hour and a half ago. It's right now. I think it's 8:07 right now. And I asked her, what do you want to be when you grow up? She said that she doesn't know. So I'm like, all right, that's fair. She still has her whole entire life ahead of her. So, with the rebellious teenage years and the boys. Then I asked my youngest brother, what does he want to be when he grows up? Instantly, he said, I want to be a YouTuber. So there was a brief pause there, and I had to gather my thoughts, and I'm like really, he wants to be a YouTuber. It's just like, you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could you could be the next president of the United damn States. Like, but you want to be a YouTuber? But you know what? I'm not knocking it because that's what he aspires to be. That's his dream, and I'm not gonna knock it. I refuse. If a kid, listen, if a child right now says that he wants to be the next Donald Trump or the Adolf Hitler, I'm not gonna knock his dreams, because their dreams change over time, and the older we get, whether you're an infant to 90 years old, your dreams and expectations in life always change. So I'm like, hey, what else do you want to be? Like, if what else do you want to be besides being a YouTuber? He says studio, and I'm like, okay. There's there's tons of job that requires you being in the studio. So, but I assume, being, music or something related to YouTube, maybe, but they're both young, and sky's the limit. And I'm gonna talk about my little brother, the middle child. He's 15 going 16, and I partially blame myself for, not being there as an older brother, as a as an influence somewhat, because, again, children are very influential, and they tend to gather information, and they retain it, and they imitate it. So off the bat, my dad is dead. He died. My father died at the age of 17. So, a little brother's 2 years away from being my dad's age. That's crazy. You know, my little sister that's, 28, 29. I don't know. I don't remember. You know, her dad's around. He's in Long Island, but his presence was touch and go. So, um, I'm sorry to put my sister's business out there like that, but she was a dancer, an exotic dancer to specify. So, no disrespect, but there definitely was some daddy issues there along the way. Now, my little brother, the middle child, his dad was around, but he didn't want to be around. Now, who does he have to look up to? Because if his dad is not trying to be there, then who can he look up to? And now, and looking back at it, when I was involved with the family a little bit, he did try to look up to me, but because I found him annoying, um, I try to push him away as well. So with that, there was problems in school, fights and bad grades and everything like that, and in the nature. And I took a good look at him today, and I realized that he has his no belt pants sagging down below his buttocks, and I grilled into him. I was like, hey, like, do you like walking with your pants sagging down? Like, what are you trying to prove? Like, what message are you trying to send? Do you think it's cool? He really had no response to it, and he knew I was kind of clowning him a little bit, but I haven't asked him in a long time what he wants to be when he grows. But the last time I asked him, he said he wants to be a basketball player. But from what I'm seeing right now, is he's trying to get involved with music, making beats and everything like that. He literally has his own mini studio going on his laptop, and he has like a launch pad or something like that. So, you know, but what I'm trying to say overall is that, children are very influential, and if we're going out of our way to feed children information that really shouldn't be there, you know, like, Trump's a racist. You know, it's like, you know, they're a little at that age, you know, they're a little, I feel, in my opinion, people could disagree with me whatever if they want to, but in my opinion, I feel that they're a little too young to be even thinking about that, even thinking about racism first and foremost, you know. But if a child thinks of racism, it's it's us as the adults that are indirectly feeding them at that information, whether it's good or bad. The fact that they know what racism is, you know, we as a collective of human beings in America, we boast around about racism. We fight it, we promote it, good or bad. You know, the fact that it's in the child's head, that is bad on the adult's end. You know, um if I do have children, and that's a big if, um I do say some off the wall shit like, there can only be one. If I do have a child, I'm gonna pretty much, blow my head off, the rule of two, Star Wars, there can only be one person, and but if I do have a child, and if I am that person, because who knows what kind of person I would be. There's no promising that I would be a good father. I might be the worst fucking father in the whole entire existence. There's no telling. But in a perfect world where I am ready for a child, and in a perfect world where I am heavily involved in my child's life, um, and no promises, but I'll do my best to not feed my children negative thoughts. If my child says he or she wants to be an astronaut, a lawyer, a veterinarian, or whatever the case may be, I am not going to knock that. I would promote it and I will support them till the end and beyond. You know, um, I'm not going to be that child that's going to force my child to do music and be a doctor or a lawyer, you know, like those. I'm sorry, but like those Indian fathers or those Chinese fathers, parents. I'm not going to do all that. You know, like if they seek something that they're good at in life and that they would like to be in life, I will definitely try to promote it. And I think as adults, we should definitely do the same. Like we have an idea on what we want our children to be, and we see ourselves growing up, and then we say, I don't want to be like how my parents were, how they raised me, and I'm going to raise them differently. But I think we kind of forget along the way and get caught up in our own little agenda, and accidentally and indirectly push our agenda that our forefathers did to them. But on that note, I'm gonna leave it at that and just say, be careful how we raise our kids.